This Friday, Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan are back to switch things up in Disney's Freakier Friday.
Totally. Yes.
It's an absolute riot. Woo! And the only movie that can be described as
so much weirder than the last time. What last time?
It's the frequel.
You ready?
We've been waiting for.
That absolutely slays.
What deeply out of touch old person came up with that?
You did.
Wow.
Don't miss the comedy event of the summer for all ages. Disney's Freakier Friday in theaters this Friday. Get tickets now. Rated PG. Parental guidance suggested.
Juvederm Day is coming on August 20th. For one day only, buy one $75 gift card and get one free. Juvederm Day gift cards can be used on any product in the Juvederm collection of fillers. Don't miss out on this once-a-year chance to save. Join Allie now while supplies last. Skin Beef by Juvederm is excluded from this promotion. Terms and conditions apply.
Pie in the Sky Media. This series contains adult language and descriptions of graphic violence throughout. Listener discretion is advised.
Carolyn's dancing. 3, 2, 1.
You called it dancing. You called it dancing.
Hello, Criminal Mischief Nation. Welcome back to another bonus episode of Criminal Mischief with Carolyn and Branden. I'm Branden, and with me, as always, the great Carolyn Osorio. Carolyn, thank you for joining us. How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
All right. Why were you dancing just then?
Because number one, I know how much it annoys you, and that makes me that just energizes me.
Sure.
Because I'm happy, and I'm just like, the kids are finally out of school.
Yes.
And it's like our first week of I just have been really overwhelmed with a lot of really good things, but really kind of stressful things, so it's just great.
Awesome. I'm dying to know, I'm just going to jump right in because I'm dying to know from where you got the inspiration for this episode.
Okay, the Hollywood case. I interviewed James for that because
Skurlock,
yes.
Yeah.
It's so great that you just track.
Yeah. Doc Skurlock rode in Billy's gang.
Yeah. So he reached out to me and he's like, and I'm not trying to do the humble brag because this is not deserved. But he was like, hey, I have my new book coming out and I just want to let you know that I, put you in the acknowledgments, which I absolutely don't deserve.
Oh, that's great.
It was just really nice. He's like, yeah, Carolyn Osorio. I was like, oh, you're new. Great. Let's talk about Billy the Kid. So that's what we did.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I love it because I'm very, very familiar with the whole story.
Oh, shit. Where's my beer? I know. You know what? When I was doing the Lincoln stuff, I was like, okay. I'm wading into Derek Stranger's territory.
It's a different connection. There's a Springsteen song that's very old, but he re-released it and just reproduced it. He's made it into a completely different song. It started off as like just an acoustic, kind of strange, trying to be Bob Dylan folk song called Song for Orphans. And then for a recent record 5-6 years ago, he made it into a more expansive kind of, not a rock song, but just more of a closer to rock than just pure folk. And it's a brilliant song lyrically, just the imagery that you get. But in one of the later verses, he has a line that says, Billy the Kid was just a Bowery boy who made a living twirling his guns. And so a Bowery boy is, it's a kid from New York, right? I
was going to ask, what is a Bowery boy?
Yeah, a Bowery boy. I'm like, Billy the Kid's from fucking New York. What are you talking about?
So you got that reference? You knew what he meant?
I knew what a Bowery boy was, sure, but I didn't know
what is a Bowery boy?
Bowery is a neighborhood in Manhattan.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And so, and there's a Billy Joel song that's just beautiful, just epic Billy Joel storytelling song called The Ballad of Billy the Kid. And now you hear Billy Joel talk about it, and he'll say everything in the song is wrong. Okay. Because he says, he robbed his way from Utah to Oklahoma, it's bullshit. He never left New Mexico territory. Or They said, east and west of the Rio Grande. The Rio Grande runs east to west. You can't be east of the Rio, right? So
So
he
did he
did
write
it
this?
just for lyrical purposes. Like he
Yeah.
said he was from Wheeling, West Virginia, from a town known as Wheeling, West Virginia. Wrote a boy with a six gun in his hand. He was from Brooklyn, right?
Mm-hmm.
But so I knew a lot about him. And then in high school, my favorite two movies were Young Guns and Young Guns 2. Like I know them by heart. I could recite every single line.
What was
And
it about? What was it about? Who's in Young Guns again?
Emilio Estevez. Emilio
Okay,
Estevez plays
great,
Billy the
great.
Kid.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
It's like Tombstone, right? So it's like I get them. Okay, stop
Tombstone was
immediately.
years later. Stop with the Tombstone. Great movie, but no, 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 no.
Okay, okay, okay.
Um,
Okay.
who
Tombstone.
played Skurlock? It was and I'm blanking on his name. His father recently died.
Mm. Oh, Kiefer Sutherland.
Sutherland. Kiefer Sutherland played Doc.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, uh,
Love me some Kiefer.
great cast. Charlie Sheen was in it as well, Emilio's brother.
Mm-hmm.
Um, great cast, terrific cast.
I know, but what resonated with you at that time? I'm just curious because you were probably what, like 16 or something?
Yeah,
Like
it's
what?
just a Western. It was a
So you're
fucking.
like you like Westerns?
I liked that Western. Yeah, because it was funny and it was a true story and it just stuck. The performances were great. There was a lot of humor in it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Emilio Estevez was like a star-making turn. Was this charismatic kind of gunslinger, who just driven by ego and spectacle and the theatrics of it all. But at its heart, it was a story about friendship, and that's what was
Yeah,
beautiful about it, right? And
yeah,
and it
yeah,
was and about loyalty and about revenge.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
what the guy hit on, and the first movie was very historically accurate, about how he was taken in by this guy and the regulators
You're
that
talking
had
about Tunstall.
a Tunstall took him in, and the
Mm-hmm.
regulators were these other kind of misfit orphans who had nowhere else to go, who were
Mm-hmm.
treated respectfully and were treated like family, and you had to read every night, and you had to know your manners, and you had to speak properly, and all, and
Mm-hmm.
um, and then when they murdered Tunstall, they were like, "What? Fuck this! We're getting him back. We're gonna avenge this guy."
I mean, was kind of crazy. So
Yeah,
did you know the real story then?
yeah,
Because okay, you knew that he was like the whole thing. It
the
wasn't
whole
new
thing.
to you.
Yeah. Oh no, none of it was. It was great. I loved all of it. The what I didn't what I they kind of glossed over in the first movie the Pat Garrett of it all, and in the second movie they kind of fictionalized a lot of it, and they stuck with the story that Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid were actually really good friends, and that Garrett didn't want to put him away and didn't kill him, and they focused in on the myth that Billy the Kid survived into the 1950s, which was really interesting to think about because there was a guy who claimed to be Billy the Kid on his deathbed. He wanted the pardon that he never received. And so,
Yes.
yeah,
And
that's
people
what,
are still calling for him to get the pardon.
right. That's what the second movie was
So
about.
Pat
Him,
Garrett, okay, if I hear you correctly, because Pat Garrett, I guess they did ride together. So that's why how he knew Billy's haunts. He knew where to
correct. They
find him
rode
because
together. They rode together for in the second movie. They were like brothers.
oh, okay, in the second movie
In the
that well
second
that
movie,
okay, okay.
they were like brothers. Um,
Hmm. But in
and then
reality, they actually had been friends at one point because
they've been
they rode together,
right.
and that's how he knew where Billy the Kid was. I mean, it's
Yeah.
so brutal that it's like
Yeah.
he had all these friends that were loyal to him, and yet this guy was like, "Hey,
Right.
I want the reward."
And
And
that's
the
what the first movie was it's so great that resonated with me and my friends in Jersey was there was a scene in it where they're overwhelmed. They're being tracked down by like all sides. And
Mhm,
one of the guys wants to leave and run to Mexico. And
mhm,
Billy's like, no, we have to do this. And the guy's like, well, I'm leaving. And he asks one of the other guys in the gang to go with him. He says, Charlie, will you come with me?
mhm,
Charlie won't do it. And he goes, you're not saying much there, Charlie. And he goes, and Billy steps up. He goes, because he knows the meaning of the word pals. Okay. He knows what it is to be pals with somebody. And you have 3 or 4 pals. You've got yourself a tribe right there, and you don't need anything else. Like that's all you need. Okay.
mhm.
And so then later on, starting the third act, when the war's about to start and they think they're safe in Mexico, and one of the guys marries a local Mexican girl, and it's the night of his wedding, and they have to leave, and everyone's saying, "You should stay, you're married now." And he wrestles himself free from the arms of his wailing wife and gets on his horse and just looks at the guys and says, "Man, it ain't easy having pals." Okay. And they all leave. Okay. And then the movie happens, and there's the big shootout at the lawyer's house, and really, really well staged. And then Kiefer Sutherland does this voiceover at the end that, after Billy the Kid was shot by Pat Garrett and he was buried at Old Fort Sumner with a very simple headstone, and said that, he goes, at some point, someone snuck into the graveyard and chiseled an inscription on Billy's tombstone. And the one word epitaph read "Pals." Like that was it. And all of that is apocryphal. I'm sure. I doubt any of it actually happened. But that's what made the movie land with me and my friends. And with my brother and with everybody. We're like, okay, we get it.
It's like the Band of Brothers, you know?
It could be
like
about
that.
us. It could be about us, a bunch of dipshits in the 80s in New Jersey running around thinking that we're outlaws, But so I love the whole, and then there was I'm sorry, I know I'm dominating this conversation. I'm sorry, I'm just really into the subject matter.
No, that's good.
About the pictures of him that were found. That
You mean the
were
one picture that they have?
There's one picture of him leaning on his rifle.
Yeah,
Okay.
where he looks like
A weirdo. He's got a super weird, looks like he's wearing a sock mask or something. He looks really strange.
Yeah.
It was weird that he was only 5'3". I didn't know that he was that tiny of a person.
Well, the kid, I mean,
Yeah. But still, he was 21 years old. How many 5'3", 21-year-old men?
I know, and that's what's so ironic about him being this huge legend,
Because of how good he was with his guns.
Yeah. No, I know, but so there's only one picture.
No. See? Aha.
Right.
Check it out. There was a guy whose job, who's his whole life, he's a retired dude, and he just goes to old thrift stores.
Oh, wait a second, but I read on that. Okay, I know what
it's
you're
been
saying, the garage
authenticated.
sale?
It's
Okay.
a wide shot of the whole gang, and they're playing croquet.
Yeah, no, I've seen that. Yeah.
That's been authenticated. It's worth like $2 million. This picture.
It was like $5 million.
$5 million. There you go.
I read on that myself, but then there were some questions that maybe it wasn't, but that it really showed the power of his legacy.
Absolutely.
And after all these years later, that one picture would be worth $5 million. I mean,
Well, you heard your boy. You heard the guy. How much of New Mexico relies on the legend of Billy the Kid in terms of tourism and movies and books and all that. Yeah, he's an industry.
but what's interesting is I loved how he said the name Billy the Kid. Because when I first was talking to him and he was saying Billy Bonnie and Billy and McCarty, and I was like,
McCarty, yeah.
What are you talking about? And he's like, because I only in my mind it's like he's Billy the Kid. Like
Yeah.
I can't think of him as being anything else. It was kind of like, oh right, okay. But
Yeah.
how that really took off, this idea of, it's kind of like Wag the Dog. That was like one of my favorite movies back in the day when it came out, about like with Robert De Niro and how
Great
they're
movie.
creating
Great movie.
this whole like scheme off of like marketing.
Created a war. Yeah.
And I think that's so funny because I think that like that's a little bit what this is. The idea of this friendship loyalty that people like, you and your boys really plugged into, of like the loyalty of the friends, and then how he died, and just the whole thing. So it was just really great marketing. And then the escape. I mean, I think it was well deserved because of that escape too,
Yeah, the escape is documented fairly accurately in the second movie. But I think when you're talking about just the creation of the legend, of this Wild West legend, and nobody believed it more than Billy himself.
What do you mean?
Because he just leaned into it so much. According to what I've read and the way he's portrayed in the movies, he loved this sudden celebrity, absolutely loved it. And he would inflate the numbers of men that he killed. And they were saying that he was a left-handed gunslinger, but he was actually right-handed. He doesn't know where that came from, He loved that the newspapers called him handsome and that he was great with women and that he was always whistling sad ballads and all this, and none of it was true, right? Like none of it was true. He didn't. There was one girl that he liked, uh, and he didn't know any particularly sad songs that he would whistle, and he was right-handed, So it was just, but he loved the legend that was being formed around him, and he didn't do anything to dismiss any of the rumors.
I mean, according to James, like I think that some of that had to have been true because, how at like 20 years old, he is like the leader of this of the regulators. He had to be able to like draw people to him, you know? And I think that like it sounds like he had really great manners and really like so I think that he had this charm that was infectious and that could definitely be appealing to the ladies, especially if he was like super capable. And so I think that there had to have been some truth to that.
Well,
And
you saw his picture, right?
I did see his
Okay,
picture, but,
okay.
but the second picture, and it's funny because James was like getting really like antsy about the picture. He's like, I think that even Paulita said that was a bad picture. Like nobody wants to claim that
He's all
picture.
like,
I know. It's funny. I was gonna send you the picture, and I was like, oh, I want to see if he puts that picture up next to next to our
oh,
side
I
by.
probably, no, I used something, I used something.
You use something where he looks totally macho and like like
Yeah,
nobody
it's just
wants
more
that picture.
mysterious and with the setting sun and, whatever.
I know because if you see the picture, you're like, huh.
Yeah, you think like, is there something wrong with him? Does he have a disease? Yeah,
Okay, that's not exactly what I was thinking, but it's
that's what
not
I was thinking.
that
Yeah.
flattering of a picture.
But the thing about his leadership style
Hmm.
was more manipulative than anything else, to my knowledge, right?
Well, what do
Like,
you mean?
because when shit went down after he killed Sheriff Brady in the fucking streets,
Hmm.
okay, and
Hmm.
the cavalry was called in,
Yeah.
his team was like, it's 100 against 5. Like, what you're insane. We have
Hmm.
to leave.
Hmm.
And he would appeal to their sense of bravery and manhood. Like, oh, I guess you didn't love John Tunstall like I do. I'll go do this by myself. And they're like, oh man. So he was like a manipulator, you
Hmm.
know? And the other thing is that he was much like kind of Alexander the Great. He would lead from the front. He wouldn't say, you go do it. He's like, follow me and just guns blazing. People are like,
Yeah.
okay, fuck it. Here we go. If he'll go, I'll go. So he wasn't like an empty shirt, like you do this and you do this and you do that. No, he goes, here's what we're going to do. And I'm going to be right there with you. Um,
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It wasn't all just like a marketing scheme. Like he really had to. I mean,
no,
I said that too. I was the one
yeah,
that said that, but I'm saying like I think that kind of bravado and that kind of like leadership. I mean, I do think leaders are manipulative. Like
sure. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. But
yeah.
in terms of like body count and in terms of, like libido and all of that, by the time it got back to the newspapers back east, which
Mhm.
either telegraph or a week on the fucking train, right? People are going, oh, whatever. I'm going to just write some shit about this kid who's out
Mhm.
there killing people. And it went
Yeah.
from 3 to 10, and then 10
Yeah.
became 15. And then by the time he was asking for a pardon, it was 20, you know?
Hmm. Hmm.
So who knows how many? Because he was only ever really charged with Sheriff Brady.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's just a interesting. I didn't know a lot about him personally. So like and I didn't realize that New Mexico deal. Like they got so, I don't remember learning about that when I was in high school or in
Oh yeah,
college.
that was President Polk in the 48, 1849, where Polk was a badass. I'm telling you, like people remember Thomas Jefferson for the Louisiana Purchase or William Seward for Alaska, but Polk was like, I'm coming in there. I'm a rich guy living in Tennessee. I'm a gentleman farmer. I don't need this shit. You elect me. I'm going to be president for one term. I'm going to make manifest destiny a thing.
Mm,
And America will go from ocean to ocean and up to the whatever parallel, like with Canada. And
mm.
everyone's like, yeah, okay, sure. And he fucking did it. He did it. and so many interesting things happened like in rapid succession. Like the treaty that was signed that ended the Mexican American War,
Mm.
okay? 3 days, it was either 2 days or 3 days, let's say 3 days before that was signed. And no one would know about this event for weeks or months. But 3 days before that was signed, before California officially became a part of the United States, the gold was found at Sutter's Mill.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
Which
I
was
mean,
one of
it's
the richest
so,
gold strikes in human history
so
that
crazy.
would have been Mexican, but
Oh
now
my
it's
gosh.
right, it was an American gold strike, right? So that happened, and then and then look at the Oregon Territory
Mm.
that became the Oregon Trail. Like, come on out, free land forever. If you could make it there, you could have as much land as you can farm.
I know, but that land was already other people's land.
Of-
And the Hispano
Yes,
people, like it just is like, it's gonna happen. There's no stopping it, and
sure. I know, I get it. I mean, but look at, I mean, listen, I get it. I understand what you're saying, and we could
yeah,
look back from, our nice houses in these states, right? And say like, oh my gosh, this isn't our land. But also that's the history of human conquest, right? It's like
yeah.
to the victor go the spoils. I mean, look at a map of Europe or Africa or whatever, how these lines were drawn through, at the edge of a sword or
Mm.
the barrel of a gun. That's how it goes. We
I
won.
know, but it's brutal when you're the ones that like, this is my land and has been forever. And then all of a sudden,
Yeah.
it's like there was this lawlessness, and the politicians were like the lawless ones. I mean, it was just so corrupt. And you could say the
Absolutely.
same thing about right now. It's like
Yes,
all these
that's how
years
it's
later,
always been. That's how it's
it's
always been.
always been that way. I
Yes.
know. I
By the
know.
time by the time we won the Mexican American War, uh, they were speaking Spanish for hundreds and for 300 years because of the conquistadors, So it's just it's a cycle. It's how it, and we see it. It's just playing out in real time somewhere in the world all the time. Look what's going on in Ukraine right now. Russia's trying to get the land back.
I think that's what I love about doing these kind of historical. Well, I don't think I know
Mhm.
why I love doing the historical ones, because it gives you the context for things,
Yeah.
and you can see that things haven't changed a heck of a lot at
No.
all, you know?
No, it's just the
So
language changes and the brutality and lethality of the weaponry changes. But otherwise it's the same shit. The
yeah.
ra the map of Europe has been redrawn so many fucking times just in the last 100 years.
hmm hmm
So
So when you sit and you listen to a Billy Joel song
yeah,
or a Bruce Springsteen song, are you
yeah.
just sitting there with the lyrics going? Because like
Sometimes.
when I'm listening to a song, like a lot of times, like I don't even know what the lyric, I make them up. And then when I actually find out, like maybe somebody says, you're singing that wrong. And I'm like, what? And then the whole context of the song is completely different than what I thought it is. So you're sitting there
Oh, that
thinking,
happens a lot. Yeah.
like, okay, Bowery boys, you
No,
know.
like like hearing the song. When you listen to Song for Orphans, geez, you could just sit there with an encyclopedia and look shit up or read a book of poetry and figure out where his head was at the time. But then because it's musically kind of connected to, Billy the Kid was just a Bowery boy who made a living twirling his guns. And then the next line is, the night is long and lanky and she speaks in a mother tongue. You're like, whoa, what? The night speaks to you in a mother tongue. And then the last line is, she lullabies the refugees with an amplifier's hum. Like, what does that even fucking mean? But then you surrender to the lyrics and like you get it. You're like,
Mhm.
okay, I see what he's going for there. So, but yes, sometimes it's just me wanting to, forget about stuff and just feel the beat. Other times I just want to sit there and dissect the lyrics and try and
Mhm.
figure out what he's talking about. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting. There's like some reels that have gone around, and I watched that. Did you ever watch the Beatles thing that came out a couple of years ago? It was like their recordings, and it was so amazing.
Oh my
Okay, so
gosh.
yeah,
Oh,
right. Wasn't that incredible?
Oh,
So many layers. I mean, that's the kind of stuff I love to
it's like
dissect.
watching Da Vinci paint the Mona Lisa.
I know, and that's what it was when they were doing, JoJo was, and they were coming up, they were
Yeah,
freewheeling with it.
Jojo.
You're
Yeah.
right, and they
And you're like,
couldn't.
no, that's not how it goes. It goes the other
I
way.
know, and you watch them in time
I know, it's
trying to
crazy.
figure it out in that creative process and
Yeah,
seeing, and you're just waiting for it. You're just waiting for it so you can hear them say,
till it clicks.
and it's like, I love that.
Yeah, the
I
act of
love that.
creation is amazing. It's
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah,
Well, I'm
really.
glad that you enjoyed the episode.
Yeah, it was terrific as a true crime true crime episode. It was super cool, super cool. And there's a lot of great movies out there about Billy the Kid. There's
Mm,
one fairly recently that follows the legend that he survived,
mm,
um, which was really good, really good. But if you just want good commercialized, westerns, Young Guns and Young Guns 2,
mhm.
fantastic,
Well, James's book, definitely recommend it.
great.
It basically shows the Hispano side, which was really interesting.
Yeah, I bet.
And I highly recommend it. I didn't get through the whole thing quite yet, but it has really cool
Yeah.
pictures. Oh, wait, I think it has the picture that we're talking about. That's like, he sent it to me, but hold on a second. Let's
Where
see
he
if I
looks all fucked up,
can. Yes.
looked like he got in a fight with a lawnmower. Yeah, dude. Get a dermatologist or something, brother.
Hey, quit being so vain. God.
And
Good
also, it's a
job.
daguerreotype photo where he had to stay still for like 30 minutes just for it to get exposed. I'm breaking balls. The fact that it exists at all is amazing, and that it's
Exactly.
authenticated. Yes,
Exactly.
yes, I
All
get it.
right.
I get it. Well,
All
that was
right.
that was great, wonderful choice. I'm happy that you did that. So, what do we do with me going out of town? What do we? You want to run reruns or what? Are we doing an episode next week and then we're dark for 2 weeks? How are we doing this? Let's let the people know.
Yeah, so Brandon is going on a well-deserved,
Vacation.
well-earned, not deserved, earned
Yes.
vacation with his family. And so we will be either doing reruns. I have a few interviews lined up, so I might try to do, oh my gosh, you know what we didn't talk about? The
The plea deal.
the plea deal of Brian
It's
Koberger.
so obvious. I wanted him to go to trial and just get cooked, but who was the guy that you had on that was like, listen, this is what's happening. They got him
Floyd
fucked.
Steiger,
They got
Detective.
him dead to rights.
And
Yeah.
you were a little bit like, yeah, he
I'm like,
was being pretty
that guy's
hurt.
confidence in that on that topic was, I'm like, all right, I would have bet all the money I had that he's right. He was so confident in it.
You know what? When you read that, what did you feel? When you read that he took a plea deal, what did you feel?
It made me disgusted that's basically him admitting to doing it.
I felt the same
Yeah.
way.
And and,
Exactly how I
and it
that
made me want to go and made me want to go, man, I wish the trial would happen because I want to fucking know why. Like, shouldn't an explanation be involved with the plea deal? Like, you have to tell us everything and you have to fucking tell us why. Is it because of this incel like bullshit? Is that why? Is it because she didn't fucking respond to your sliding into your fucking DMs? Like, oh, I've got to go kill people. I mean, what a piece of shit this guy is. It turned my stomach when I read that.
you know what? Me too.
Yeah.
I just felt like there's something about
I'm talking about Kohlberger, by the way, the Idaho murders. Sorry.
he took a plea deal, so he will
Yeah.
not get the death penalty, but they're having a like a quick turnaround time for this hearing, and it
Yeah.
sounds like the families are like really, really upset
Yeah.
because they wanted that too, it
Yeah.
sounds like. And
I mean, listen, he is deserving of all of the same, levers and pulleys of our judicial system as anybody else. Great.
I mean, there's
This
just
one,
something
this
about
one's
knowing
this one
that
stings.
that disgust that we both felt. There's just something, it's like you don't want to believe that someone would do that. And even though someone did do it, because obviously
It was
four
right.
innocent young people died for no reason, horribly. And now their families are going to be living with this and their friends and the community, it's just like you said, why?
Yep.
And I don't think that even when we hear all the gory details of what happened, because they're gonna lay it all out there,
Yeah.
you know.
They sure
But
are.
yeah,
Oh,
So,
just brutal.
yeah,
Just fucking brutal. But all right.
okay,
Well, so listen, if you want to, if you have some interviews coming up, send them, and we could publish them, and sure, that'd be great.
okay. Yeah,
If not, we'll run some best ofs. If you have some choices, some ideas for best ofs, we'll get them scheduled. All
okay.
right. And in the meantime, Nation, if you enjoyed the episode, please share it with somebody. Billy the Kid's a hell of a story. Check out the movies, read the book. It's a quintessentially American story that weaves in, the American arrogance of Manifest Destiny and the lawlessness of the Wild West back then, and how, it was the West was won at the end of a six shooter. Like that's how it
Absolutely,
happened. Yeah, dude. I mean, it is
absolutely.
no joke.
It is no joke.
So great job. Thank you. Check out, make sure you rate and follow us at Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get yours. And I'll see you in a couple weeks. Carolyn, anything you'd like to add?
Nope. We'll see you next time.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Stay safe out there.
From Pie in the Sky Media, Criminal Mischief is an EVO production, recorded live in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. We're produced by Brandon Morgan and myself. Music by Soundstripe. For EVO Creative, I'm Carolyn Osorio, your writer and host.